Namaste, greetings everyone. So pleased to be back here, bringing yet another show. And I have recently been reminded that I might have got numbering wrong. So this is, of course, the 55th live, but overall, I think it is now around 73rd or 74th show. Don't worry, I will get the numbering right and I will go back and do the counting. But this only means that you have been loving this show for over 2 years now, almost 3 years actually. So thank you very much for all that love and affection and encouragement for me to continue this show. Thank you very much. First, quick check whether LinkedIn and YouTube is working. Yes, it is working. So those who've been able to join me from LinkedIn or YouTube, do let me know if you've been able to. Yeah, I can see Vaibhav, Shreyashi, Venki, Dhirendra, Ujjwal, So basically means that both the platforms are working, which is always a worry when I do these live shows. And some of you may remember that one of my most recorded shows actually uh, did not stream live on LinkedIn, right? So that is something I try and do. Okay, back to today's topic. Have you ever wondered how sometimes people know about you before you know them, right? You don't know them personally, they don't know you personally, but they know about you. You might also have descriptions of people in your family and friends. Some might not be usable online, so but you know what I mean. You always know people by something else that they do, what they do, how they look, and all kind of things, right? So that is, and this happens at work also, right? This is not just in family and friends. This happens at work also. People are known by something that is their image, and whether we like it or not, that is their personal brand. Right? I keep telling everybody who comes to me for personal branding coaching that you already have a personal brand. You just don't know that you have a personal brand, or you don't have the personal brand that you want. Right? You, for reasons of career, for reasons of friendship, influence, impact, you might need a certain type of personal brand or certain type of image, which you might not have. So there is a gap, right? As a quality professional, most of you know that I'm a full-time quality professional. When you have a certain expectation of a performance and your actual performance is not there, so there is a gap. What do? You try and bridge that gap, and this gap can be bridged only by some expert. So you have to go to a coach, you have to go to an expert who knows the area better than you know, in this case better than I know. So I did exactly that, and I found one of India's best image makeover consultants or coaches, and she's my guest today. So you already know the name, Aarti Sharma, but I'll speak a little bit about her and then invite her into the show. Aarti is, of course, a internationally certified image consultant, probably the only one of its kind in India. Founder of 360-degree image makeovers, is a very top-rated soft skills coach and a motivational speaker, amongst many other things. She's been able to help CXOs reinvent and themselves and how their image is and what they do, and also works with students, graduates, so whole range, and brings in a lot of experience to help prepare people for interviews, guide them in their career, life coaching, including spearheading and leading the only life skills Olympiad that is attended by 15,000 students from over 100 countries. And in her words, her mantra is to bring out the latent exclusivity in people through makeover programs. So, ideal person for today's show. I will add her to the stream now. Aarti ji, namaste and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Anshuman, for such a warm welcome and introduction. And I'm super excited to meet everybody today through you. Thank you so much for
Thank,
inviting me.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Aarti ji. We will get on with the show. But any opening comments that you have about the topic or about anything that you wanted to share with the audience before we get deeper into the show?
So, before I start the show, before we actually take up the questions and all, I would just like to let people know more about image. So, generally, people don't understand, yeah, image kya hota hai? So I would just simply say that image is you in the eyes and minds of others. And it all begins from how you see yourself. So actually, first of all, it is your self image. and then the art of projecting it and expressing it to others. Anshuman, you just simply said, and I fully agree with it, that we all have a personal brand. It's just that we just don't know it because we haven't made it intentional. And I always say, if you don't put intention in creating your own brand, it might become accidental.
Yes, and it will probably become something that we don't want.
Yes.
And then a lot of people come to people like you, people like me, and say that, oh, I'm misunderstood. Nobody understands what I'm saying, and those kind of things. That is also a gap in perception. We want a certain image, but that is usually aspirational, Aarti, and the actual thing is here. So वो gap है, and this gap has to be fulfilled. And of course, since I talk a lot about career and related topics, we will also try and weave in career related aspects of this, so that people in the show can find some guidance from your vast experience. So that's the broad thing. And to people in the show, those who are new, of course, some basic rules. Of course, this is a LinkedIn live, so you can't actually join the live show, but you can ask a question. So you will have to type your question either on YouTube or LinkedIn, and we will pick up the questions after some time, maybe 25 minutes or half an hour or so. And I will request Aarti's response. In some cases, I may also respond if the question is in my area, so I'll do that. But that's the general format. And of course, one request: if you are already in the show, you are liking it, you like the topic, and you want your friends and colleagues to know, you can go to LinkedIn and share that you are joining this show. So the method to do that is, the page from where you entered this show, there will be a share button. Just use that share button and let people know that you are in this show and excited to learn more about it. So that's the basic thing. And toward the end of the show, I will give you homework like I always do in my shows. So please wait for that. Okay. So uh, back to the question part, Marty. My and I'll ask a provocative question, maybe a little bit, just to provoke, right? So image management to me sounds like putting a nice wrapper on a bad product. So material अच्छा नहीं है, but उसको wrap करके दे दिया, so the image improves. Why should I bother about my image? I am doing good work. I am doing fantastic. And I'm speaking about on behalf of people. Why should I bother about my image? Why should anybody bother about their image?
What a
Particularly
wonderful way
coming
of
from that
asking.
point of view that image is a wrapper. Product खराब हो सकता है, image का क्या करें? So anything that you have.
So, Anshuman, let me ask you, before today, 10 years down the line, the gifting industry wasn't booming so much.
Correct.
Packaging industry wasn't even here.
Hmm.
And today, we spend thousands of rupees just for a half an hour kind of visit to a restaurant where we have the same coffee and we pay 1,000 rupees to have the same coffee which we can have at home. So
Correct.
it's all about presentation.
Hmm.
Before today, presentation industry wasn't booming so much. Actually, Anshuman, we human beings are visual creatures.
Hmm.
I always say that we listen through our eyes and later through our ears. And if
Hmm.
something appeals to our eyes, we would immediately want to grab it or have it or experience it. Let
Correct.
me ask you, if I ask you, like, so Anshuman, where are you planning a holiday? You would say, oh, it's such a beautiful place. We want to visit
Hmm.
beautiful places. We want to acquire beautiful clothes. We want to gift each other beautiful things. In fact, even if the food is very tasty, if it's not plated well, if it's not given to you in a respectful way, you don't even feel like touching it. Forget
Hmm.
about anything else. So there is so much of energy in presentation. And why should we say that it's like presenting a bad product in a beautiful way? Well, the best presentation is when it expresses yourself, when it I would say it enhances the beauty of the internal product. And that is the best way. And that comes when there's a congruence between who you are within, when there is an authenticity between who you are and how you present yourself. And only then people would connect with you.
So well said. And even though my question was provocative, you This is the kind of thing that people misunderstand, that they think of image as only some kind of a external thing, while you and I, we have discussed this earlier, and you are in this industry itself, we all know that unless there is change internal, there is no, the external change will anyway not last. But there is certain importance of packaging as well, like you very rightly said, and you gave examples from other industries as well. And I really love how you said that, human beings are visual creatures. So we actually, there is enough science to know that, to explain that we trust people through our eyes before they even speak. So should we speak to this person or not, that trust is formed only. And biggest example of this is that if you are going somewhere and you are lost a little bit, I'll just explain this example. If you're lost somewhere and you have to ask for a path before Google Maps were there, you will look around and you will find the most trustworthy person in your eyes, and only that person will be asked where to go. That is a example of, and that happens in life as well, because we don't ask everybody. We form some picture that we can trust this person even without knowing that person. So that is what
Yes,
image does, actually.
and let me ask you a question on my audience.
Sure.
How much time does it take to create the first impression, in your opinion, Anshuman?
Maybe seconds only, right? So
Yeah, less than 5 seconds. So, in less than 5 seconds, people notice and judge you over 12 different parameters. It could be your education. They judge you. They just imagine. It's not they, we do the same. It's a
correct.
psychological thing. We
Yeah.
haven't learned it from anybody. We judge people over their educational background, their success, their cultural background, their economic status, in fact, their sexual orientation, and so much more in less than 5 seconds. And that is the beauty of human brain. And now you tell me, can you afford not to pay attention to these first 5 seconds?
Absolutely, I would definitely do. And in the last 10 years or so, once I realized the power of or importance of packaging, or image or personal brand. Now the word personal brand is a little more popular, but these are same or similar family of words,
Absolutely.
and we can't make keep them separate. After I became a little more aware, I have been working on my own personal brand itself, because eventually what is required is that people don't know you that well, and sometimes your reputation reaches before you reach. uh,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
that you have to take care of that reputation, or build or enhance that reputation before it reaches you. I'll give a
And that
small
is
example.
the authenticity.
Yeah, that is the authentic part. A small example: I was interviewing somebody recently, and somebody else who knew this person was speaking to me and said, "This guy is always late." And that was in my mind even before I had, and this interviewee person was new to me. I had never met him, no idea, nothing. I just knew that this person is going to come to meet me. This person was actually on time, and nothing wrong with that. But my mind was already working that this guy will be late, because another person has already polluted my thinking that this person will be late. So even though this guy was actually on time, my mind had already discounted this. Maybe there were several other reasons why this image was created, and but this happens a lot to all of us, and our reputation reaches before we reach.
And
Uh,
what I say is that, like, every product has a tagline, every
hmm,
famous product. If you won't write it yourself, people will write it for you. For example, late Latif, that is a tagline which people give to people who never come on time. Or maybe
yeah,
Chalu, or
yeah.
maybe, I mean, so many negative kind of words people use to describe others. And why does that happen? So many times people come to me and then they say, Aarti, I do all my best, I've given all my best to my profession, my personal life, and still I don't get the reverence that I'm looking for. People misunderstand me. And that is the place, because you haven't been able to express yourself authentically. You haven't been able to create that message. If you will not create it yourself, others will create it for you. Then sometimes then you don't, you like it and you might not like it.
Correct. I think really well said. Uh, so just to wrap up this section, Ati, how would you respond to the charge that image is not really, or many people think of image as a is as something that we are artificially creating. You and I know that image is eventually, or our brand is eventually who we are. It is a better way of conveying that, or transforming or taking it forward or presenting it to somebody. But how would you respond to this charge that if we are creating an image or enhancing an image, we are actually running away from our true self, and something like that? Any um, response to that?
I just simply say that first of all, first image you see is how you see yourself.
Correct.
So
Hmm.
it begins from your self image, how you see yourself. Unless you see yourself in the same line, in the same light, you will not be able to kind of uh, portray it another way. It's just not possible. See, we see so many Bollywood heroes, heroines in every new movie. They have a new avatar. So
Yeah.
their look is different, their body language is different, they are wearing different kinds of clothes to portray that particular role. However, we all know who they are in reality.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
If I ask you a very simple question, if I say, which is the adjective you would use for our, I mean, MS Dhoni, what is the common thing people use for him?
Most often called Captain Cool. So
Absolutely. And when I say Virat Kohli, what comes to your mind?
volatile. So
Aggressive.
aggressive, volatile. Yeah, but that's the
Yeah,
image
yeah.
that, yeah.
So now you tell me they both are excellent in their work. And do you think that this kind of image that they portray, it could be artificial? The truth is that only that image will remain in people's mind, which is authentic. So very
Correct.
important part of image management is being authentic. Today I tell you, Anshuman, you wear these kind of clothes, this is the hairstyle I want you to uh, use, and I just say, okay, these are the clothes, let's buy that. What would happen? They will stay lying in your closet. How many times it happens that you buy certain things because somebody is wearing it, it's in style, and they're still lying in the closet because you
Mm.
do not actually associate with it. So, actual image management is developing your inner strengths first and then reflecting on it on the outside by working on A, B, and C. A appearance, B behavior, and C communication. That is ABC of image management. So it can't be done without authenticity.
I will ask you to repeat this ABC so that our audience connects with this. This is a new ABC, but can you repeat it for all of us?
Yes, so image management is all about developing your inner strengths and reflecting it on the outside by working on A appearance, B behavior, and C communication. That is A, B, and C of image management. And in today's time, we have added another D to it, which is
Okay.
digital presence.
Yeah. No,
How you
no.
portray yourself digitally, something which you are doing wonderfully, Anshuman, and people are learning from you each day.
I'm trying. I'm trying. My view of this is that, of course, I've learned a lot in the last 2 3 years, and what will I do with that learning if I can't share it? So,
Absolutely.
and in that process, we also learn, right? So today you are sharing your experience and knowledge with us. In that process, some of this is getting formulated or firmed up in your mind. Same happens to me as well. It gets firmed up in our mind. So really well said. I think loving the first part of the show, and quite a lot of comments. Usually my shows are very quiet kind of shows, Aarti, but today I think the content that you are bringing, already a lot of comments are there. So you've made a
Anshuman, I
difference.
can't read it. It's making me so excited. जल्दी से बताओ क्या क्या comment आ रहे हैं. I'm dying to
I
answer all that.
will, yeah, I'll present some of these on the screen. You can read. ABC, some people liked, quite a lot of people. I'm just presenting 3 or 4 of them. Renuka has added one more. So, you will take back something. Thank you, Renuka. Etiquette, of course. Quite a few responded to your question about Kohli and Dhoni. And I think Mala Ramanan. Bellu Chami has been quite constantly commenting. Thank you, sir, for your comments. He's also posted a couple of questions. We will take those questions, but let me take one question at this point, which is related to this segment. Okay, we will get deeper into the show, but this question is from Aman Goel, and he's asking something that we have covered, but maybe let's address his question so that there is a clear answer to this. Uh, you can read this question, or I'll read it for
Yeah,
you.
I
Hi,
can.
Aarti.
Aman Goyal?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Aman. Thank you for such a lovely question. Aman says, Hi, Aarti. If we are inherently good, then why packaging is still required? Don't we
Hmm.
risk of being true to ourselves and others? Thank you so much for an amazing question, Aman. Aman, by the way, you look awesome in your DP.
He-
Now, Aman, you tell me. So, whenever we have to go anywhere, or if I say one fine day when we are sitting at home and we are not feeling too great, so what happens? We don't feel like wearing the best of clothes. We don't even feel like getting up and dressing up. Whereas there are days when you feel awesome and you just open your wardrobe and say, Aaj kya pehna jaye? Or if there's an important meeting you are going to attend, you'll choose between three or four ties. This would look good or that would look good. We always know the visual part of image management, visual messaging that our clothes can give. But if we don't pay attention to it, then you can risk not getting the kind of response from people. See, how many people will work with you, Aman? Tell me. Uh, very few people will actually get to work with you, will
Correct.
actually get to know who Aman is in reality. However, your image or your outer branding or your packaging is something which everybody would notice. And I simply say, why not inspire people on daily basis by just being who you are? By just presenting yourself in a way that they feel nice, that they feel good. If you are sitting at home and then you go out of your home, and the moment you look, you make an eye contact with the with maybe somebody who's just going on the street, and you just take your eyes away, and rather than that, if you just smile, how good that would make the other person feel. Why should we restrict ourselves to just to those who actually work with us? Why not inspire everyone by just being you? And I always say that positivity is contagious, so spread it more, just by looking good, feeling good, expressing yourself, and then start that ripple.
Really well said. Thank you, Aarti. I hope, Aman, you had your answer or at least a response. And these kind of topics don't really have an answer. Just like your question is not a question, it is an inquiry. The answer is also not an answer, it is a response. So, and we are all learning together in this. So, thank you, Aman, for your question. There are many more questions, Aarti, but I'll try and match it to the segment that we are in, right? And there is a reason why you are not seeing the comments and questions, is because you are the expert on the show. You focus on sharing your knowledge. I will manage the studio and manage, bring in the questions. So the second segment is a little bit about slightly mid and senior people, right? So you actually work with a lot of mid career and senior people as well, CXOs and CEOs as well. So, what are the most common image related issues that they feel? And image and personal brand and all these topics are intermingled. So, I'm asking on behalf of all these type of topics, right? So, image, personal brand. What do they feel? Because they have already reached a certain level in their career. Nobody reaches a slightly senior position or leadership position without having done any good work or without having had the content to get there. So अब क्या problem है? Why are they now so worried about their image or personal brand? And what
Very
kind of
well.
things they are worried about?
So, Anshuman, generally, image management, most of my clients, they come to me whenever they are at a new threshold in life, when they
Hmm.
are taking up a position for the first time. You rightly said that somebody who reaches at the top, they are already very good at their work. They're the masters of their fields. Then why do they need us? Anshuman, you would agree with me that nobody is dropped there. It's not that they have been dropped there. A CEO becomes a CEO. He also enters an organization when he's 20 something, like an executive, and with dreams in his eyes, and he's worked hard to reach where he has reached. And most of them in our country especially are from humble backgrounds. They have worked hard, studied hard, and given all their energy to studies, their organization, their profession, their family life, and they are absolutely devoted people. And while doing so, there is one person whom they have definitely ignored, and that is their own self.
Hmm.
And I simply say that give yourself the love that you freely give to others.
Yeah, I
So
think this
now
is
is the time. Yeah,
now this is fantastic. I didn't expect this turn that, and I'm looking at my own career. While we have helped quite a few people, we've often missed out on coaching ourselves. So, and sometimes we are so busy building a career, a life, a family, that I won't say there is no time, because I believe that there is time for everything we want to do. So everybody has the same 24 hours, so everybody has the same time. So time to have, but that priority have we have missed out. So
absolutely. We always prioritize others. We prioritize our organization. We want to reach those targets. So those targets are there in our mind. Those timelines are very important for us. Then your children, your family, everything. And while doing that, there is somebody who actually needs your attention, and that is your own self. And
mm,
that is the reason why CEOs, CFOs, who all functional heads, they have reached where they have reached. But now when they have reached, now they feel that yes, कुछ तो अभी भी कमी है, कुछ तो कमी है. And that is the reason why they hire us, and we help them develop those strengths which they already have. It's not that they don't have that. I am somebody who's going to put something in you. You already have that, but I'm going to help you express it more in a better way, in a more refined way, so that people can connect with you better and people can understand you. Anshuman, you would agree with me that even before we open our mouth, we are loudly communicating all the time.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's not possible that we never communicate. We are always communicating. Everything about our external self is message from our internal self only. How we feel inside is how we express ourselves. The kind of clothes you choose, your hairstyle, your choice of colors, everything reflects what you are feeling inside, whether we like it, whether we actually put attention to it or not. That is the reason why, at a new threshold, when you reach a new position, you want to influence more people. People who have started from humble backgrounds, from somebody who's worked hard to reach that, the high corporate ladder, and now they are managing teams of, say, 200 to 300 people. And I
Mm,
simply say, why not inspire these people on daily basis by just being who you are, by just expressing yourself in a more presentable way, by just refining the tone that you use. We can see
mm.
the similar thing in three, four different tones, and one tone would just ignite an inspiration in others, and one would simply close the doors. And that is the importance of paying attention to your vocal, verbal, and visual cues that you give out.
Totally agreed, and I think the comments also share that. But uh, the one fascinating aspect that Aarti, I realize is that most of us, the working, particularly junior and middle career people, think that those who reach the top or reach leadership positions, unka ho gaya, they are now done, they are now okay. But what the and I deliberately asked this question because we all need to know, particularly people in mid and junior careers positions, need to know that the struggle is real for even the leadership position people. They are also struggling to enhance their image, brand, and makeover. Sometimes, like you said, somebody may be joining a new role which might require a certain. I remember one certain case in our organization where somebody very senior who used to have a slightly very small team of maybe 5-10 people suddenly had 50,000 people team. And team as in obviously the organization, so much more than that. And that requires a certain different aspect of the person. Obviously the person is cannot overnight become somebody else, but that requires a certain different aspect of this person to be dominant personality now. And he was able to make that change, and was able to bring out certain aspects. And that's exactly what you were sharing, that it's not that you build or cook up overnight. You can't, but you definitely make a choice to enhance certain aspects of your personality.
Anshu,
Or
I would like to add one thing here.
sure.
Just some of the comments are there, as you told me, that in loan ka to ho gaya, they have already reached the top. Why do they need? So to answer that one query, if
Yeah.
Virat Kohli needs a coach, we all do.
one
And
thing
let
is
me
clear One thing is clear, Aarti, you certainly are a Virat Kohli fan, certainly.
actually, I'm a fan of how he project his image.
Correct.
Truly authentic. And another person, I always take his example, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's a
Mm,
textbook case of image management.
mm,
From the time when he was Gujarat Chief Minister, then Prime Minister of India, and today a world leader. At every threshold, it's stepping up his image. And you'll be surprised, he has a team of 7070 image consultants.
I'm
Everything
glad.
he does, everything he does, his body language, the way he moves his safa, the way he uses his hands, his gestures, his smile, everything is actually learned. And that is the best news. Now you tell me, why does he need to learn it?
Yeah.
But if he is working on it, then why shouldn't we work?
Everybody in our position, in any position actually, is working to increase our impact and influence. And I keep sharing this
Absolutely.
to anybody, that why are we working? We are working to increase our impact and influence. So if we want to reach out more people, then why? That influences so that we can make an impact. Right? That is
Yes.
the inherent human need. So from the time that we were tribals, or even before when we were hunter gatherers, that need to impact and influence is a very human tendency. It is not so much found in other similar animals, or at least the you know primates that we evolved from. Very, very innate human need is to impact and influence. While
I add
leaders are found in. Sure,
one
go
more
ahead.
I to it: inspire,
Yeah, correct.
influence, and impact.
Yeah, so this is not so much found in other species, and probably could be one of the reasons why certain species evolved more than other species, because this particular trait became dominant over a period of time. Of course, that discussion is for another day, but quite a few points. So I think one, so Venkatesh Narayan Swami, you have asked several times about what is the B in ABCs. B is for behavior. Some other people have also mentioned. So, but thank you for your question. That shows your interest. The There are.
I would just like to add this something to
Sure.
this. Behavior means how you carry yourself in difficult situations. Your
Hmm,
mannerism, your etiquette, how you hold on to your emotions, your emotional quotient, that all comes under B. How you are able
hmm,
to manage your emotions when you get stressed, your stress management, your anger management. Etiquette is also, like somebody also added E to it, etiquette is also part of the behavior. How you carry
yeah,
yourself, how you just enter a room, how sometimes some people just by entering to a room owns the energy of the room. Everybody wants to be associated with them, even when they haven't even opened their mouth. There is some energy around them. And the best news is, they're not born with it, you can learn
they're
it.
not. It can be learned. It can be cultivated. It can
Yes,
be enhanced. And
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm glad you brought up this point, that many of us think that people with this kind of energy or image or brand just have it. Nobody just has it. Yes, they may have components of it, but they have worked hard to build and enhance it. And you gave some examples from other fields as well, including Virat Kohli. He's built that. He may not be off the field, he may not be anything like that, but on the field, that brings him energy, and that gives him a certain edge. So he's cultivated that image.
Ranveer
Okay.
Singh, he's an
Hmm.
out and out extrovert, an out and out outrageous person. The kind of clothes which he chooses, people can not even dare think about that. But that is how his energy reflects in the choice of his clothing.
That's the choice he's made. So, hmm. Okay. quite a few other questions. I just had identified one question, and I'm looking for a question from one person, Kishore. Huh. So this aspect of leadership and all, it also begs the question, Arti, that what happens for, let's say, not so senior people. So Kishore has a question around how to deal with image at workplace. Deal as in how do we enhance our image at workplace? Any tips on that? So you talked about senior people, but what about less senior people?
बिल्कुल बहुत ज़रूरी है. See, if somebody is in class 1, we'll give him class 1 syllabus. If somebody is in class 10th, so we'll give them 10th class syllabus. So syllabus पूरा है, depending on which role and goal you are, which role are you playing in, which goal you want to accomplish. और इस पे किशोर मेरा टिप है जो आप ध्यान से सुन लो और सब लोग सुन लो. Always dress for the role you want to possess, not for your present role. I
Hmm.
would like to give my example.
Sure.
So, when I joined the image enhancement program, so before that, I was a homemaker. I was a complete homemaker, somebody who hasn't even stepped out, and not actually, very vocal, and not somebody who would, go out and meet with strangers and things like that, and never even entered a corporate place. I've never given one interview in my life, and today I train CEOs, CFOs on giving interviews.
Hmm.
And the very first day when I decided to change this aspect of my life, and I wanted to take this up, so there's a story behind it. If we get time, I'll tell you that why I wanted to do that. But I'll
Sure.
just give you one example that the first day when I went for this my first class, and during the lunch break, so there were around 14 to 17 people who were attending this complete image makeover from ICBI. That's a renowned organization. And six people out of those, like almost 50%, they came to me in the lunchtime and they said, hi and hello, we were meeting for the first time. I said, and they said, you know what, we thought you are the teacher.
Hmm.
That was my very first day. I went there as a student, and these people had a long experience of their life in corporate and their career. And I was an absolute homemaker, but still I could influence them because I had changed the image here. If I was there, I had changed the image here. And when you bring that change here, it reflects outside. So
Absolutely.
when you are at a particular role, be that person first. Be the person you want to become. Whether you have just joined, so from college to corporate, what kind of image? Think what is the goal? What kind of image you want to portray? Somebody would say professional. Agreed. Then look professional, be professional, and behave professionally. If you are then first time manager, what is the kind of image you want to portray? No more casual. Now you are a leader. Be a leader. Reflect your leadership in whatever you do. And that is how you can portray. Of course, tips and tools are with us. Professionals know the best. But I would say bring the change here. Be the person first and then it reflect it on the outside. I hope that makes sense.
It totally makes sense, and I think from a corporate point of view, Kishore, I can certainly, and I've been in corporate for almost 30 years now, so I can certainly share that this tip really works. Be the person, like blend into the room. Of course, if you have a very different way of presenting yourself, be yourself. But general tip is to blend first and then stand out. There will be opportunity for you to stand out. If you stand out first, then you never get in actually. So
Absolutely. And Kishore, I would add to it that, we human beings have innate desire to be seen,
correct.
innate desire to be noticed. And the best way to do that is by noticing others. When you start noticing others' efforts, when you start appreciating others' efforts, it all comes back to you.
Really well said.
And be presentable if you want to be seen.
That
We
of
all
course.
like to we all like to look at beautiful things. We human beings have beauty biased. We want to work at beautiful places, we want to work with beautiful people, and why not be one?
No, aesthetics is presentable. Aesthetics is definitely a part of corporate. I would say setup, and many people miss it out, and then they complain later on that nobody. I don't have friends at work and so on, because you've not opened yourself to friendship with others. So, of course, it's more complex than this. But thank you, Kishore. Yes, Kishore has already said that he liked the response. So thank you very much, Kishore. There are quite a few other areas, but this is probably one occasion. We are 40 minutes into the show. If you've been liking this show, this is to all audience. If you've been liking the show, irrespective of whether you came as Aarti's guest or my guest, or just stumbled upon this session, use this opportunity to go and follow Aarti on LinkedIn. She shares a lot of good content, and many of this content you may not have to pay her for her advice. This advice will be available through her text. Of course, if you want to pay her and take her services, obviously we would love that. But all of us actually share a lot of advice and good content on a regular basis. So आपको free में it is available. And if of course you like what I do and want to know about more of these sessions that I do, you can follow me as well. That way you will know when is my next session, which is, of course, I can tell you now, it's next Saturday, 5th of August, 11 a.m. I'll be talking to one of the founders of Big Basket, which is one of the top organizations in India on entrepreneurship. But back to this session. So Sandeep has asked what is the LinkedIn handle for Aarti. So Sandeep, you would have joined this show from a page where this show is advertised. Aarti's contact is there, and you can of course look her up on uh, LinkedIn as well. So if you have any trouble later on, please contact me. I will be able to help you. Nehal, and quite a few people have asked about how to contact you. So, Aarti, why don't you take this question? People want to know. 5, 6 people have asked. How do they want to? How can they contact you? Um, Easy way, of course, is to contact you on LinkedIn. I think that is easiest.
Best
But
way
anything
is
else?
send me best way is send me a personal message. My name is Aarti Sharma, and that is how I have a profile on LinkedIn. You can just follow me or connect with me through a personal message, and of course then we can take it forward from there.
Sure. So easy way for anybody actually on LinkedIn is to connect. Even if you can't connect, you always have a free email going. You can email them, which is the message platform for LinkedIn, and connect and take it from there. Right. So thank you, Nehal and Praveen, Sandeep. Quite a few people have asked. A lot of people actually. So you might be getting a lot of inquiry today.
My
Um,
pleasure.
I think Dr. Achal Arora has asked a question, and she has a follow-up question, but I will read this. But what about inside the organization in a particular department where people feel jealous to you? And she's added this, even if you are friendly and kind with all. So, original question
Very
was this.
good. Yeah, Anchal, I would like to answer this question, and this is a very important point I'm going to make here. Uh, there are two factors how people associate with us.
Hmm.
One is warmth, and the second is competence. Warmth means people should feel that they feel comfortable around you. So a way of showing warmth is being friendly, smiling, and non-competitive. Second
Hmm.
point is competence. Now, if you are not competent in your work, even if you are a very nice person, nobody would like to associate with you. आप बोलेंगे हाँ जी अच्छाई अपने घर में रखिए हमें काम करके दिखाइए. Now, these
Correct.
are two things: warmth, friendliness, and competence. But let me tell you, the order should always be like this: firstly, warmth, and then competence. If you show your competence a little early, people get intimidated and then they feel jealous, that they feel, then everything gets into a negative zone. So don't show your competence in a way that they get threatened. Show your competence at the right time. In fact, help them out with your competence and just smile. And you would see that it creates magic.
Hmm. Really, I like this, that. first probably bring in your warmth and kindness and your general nature, and then your competence has an opportunity. It is almost like you're preparing the garden for the flowers to bloom. So the flower will not bloom without the right setup. Okay, quite a few. Upendra has a question. Upendra Balchandani, he's a classmate of mine from many, many years ago. He actually looks younger than me, but but we are classmates. From the perspective of CXO execs, what will be your advice on how can image management strategies be leveraged to strike a balance between projecting a professional image while still showcasing the human side of your team? So yeah, so I think this is a regular dilemma that how do you balance this professional and just a little background. Upendra is in the financial services industry, so a little bit more formal approach is usually the so more many years in banks and related organizations. So probably his question has that background. So just since I know him, I can add that.
Thank you so much for asking this question, Upendra. And 60% of my clients are generally from financial background. And why so? Because throughout the times dealing with numbers and data, somewhere down the line, they're not able to express the human side so much.
Mm,
And that is the reason why, when they reach a certain level, now they get suffocated. They also want to present their true self to others than just numbers and reaching the deadlines and showing the results, which is wonderful. That is why they are where they are. And that is the reason why we step in, because everything you say, how you say, the clothes which you wear, the cuts, the lines, the colors which you choose, everything communicates some message. And that only image consultants understand. Now that is the I would say speciality of hiring a professional. मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ.
sure.
Like on Diwali, we all get new cushions or new curtains in the house. That peps up the look. However, when you hire an interior decorator, the complete game changes. So we do that. What interior decorators do to your houses, we do that to your personalities. And like every house speaks about the residents, how they feel. Similarly, how you portray yourself, the clothes which you choose, the lines, the collars, the shapes, the colors, everything expresses your authentic personality. Of course, we are not, we have never learned it from anyone. This is something which is not a very common knowledge. So
Yeah.
many of us understand that we would like to go to astrologers and then they would say, wear a stone and that would change your reality, things like that. And I would just ask you that if just wearing one small stone can change your reality, your future, your personality, what about clothes? You are from head to toe, you are covered with those. If you change a few lines and colors here and there, it would change the whole communication. And I would say, change your future by changing your pants.
uh,
On a lighter note, I
yeah,
just want
sure,
to
sure.
say that there is so much of small details which is communicating so much. Now, for example, I'm wearing a watch. So many of us are wearing a watch today. Well, the laptop also shows the time. The phone in our hand always shows the time. Why is the watch industry booming so much? Why? Because it communicates something. It communicates you value time. And an
Mm.
expensive watch communicates where you have reached. Why a Rolex needs to buy a Rolex, you need to have a long queue. Everything communicates something. It's just that we don't know that language. And as an image consultant, I understand that language and I can teach you that language. अंशुमन ऐसे होता है ना, कई बार लोग कहते हैं मुझे इंग्लिश ना समझ में आती है पर बोलनी नहीं आती. It's just
Mm.
that we understand what the image, the other person's image is communicating, but we don't know how to use it to express ourselves. And that is where we professionals come in.
No, thanks. Amongst the friends I have, Upendra is certainly a guy who can buy a Rolex. So you brought in the right example. Some good comments from several people. Beatrice, thank you for joining and sharing your comments. I think you made an impact on Dr. Anchal, so she certainly left. Um, Quite a few.
Thank you, Anchal.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, we are toward the end of the show, Aarti, but I do want to explore one or two more topics, of course. So, see, not everybody will probably be keen to hire a consultant or a coach for this. So, what is your advice that can they read something, can they learn something on their own and start the journey, and then at some point come to you? So, any books or any online resources, anything that you can recommend or that you normally recommend to your clients, anything that you can share?
So more than reading, personal style is all about expressing and experimenting with yourself. Still, I would recommend The Triumph of Individual Style by Carla Mathis if you want to read a book on personal style, because once you understand your personal style, see, we all have personal style. It's just that we don't know how to express it. All of us
Hmm.
are stylish in our own ways, so you'll be able to understand the intricacies, the nuances of personal style, and you'll be able to express it through your clothing, grooming, body language plays a huge role. So any good book on body language would do the magic. Then communication, you must pay attention to how to communicate in a more authentic and attractive way. And again, communication, I would say, is the backbone of every relationship, whether
Correct.
personal or professional. So work on your communication. So these again, ABC: appearance, behavior, communication. We need to work on these three in amalgamation. You cannot miss out on one.
Hmm. Thank you. I was looking at some. So Venkatesh has shared his thanks, Venkatesh. Thank you for your kind words. Weber has asked this question twice, so I'm assuming that it is very important to him. So, what do you think makes a successful brand strategy? So, of course, personal brand strategy from because this session is more about people's image and so. What do you think makes a successful brand strategy? First thing,
But
Weber, what makes successful is that you don't just plan, you execute also, right? So, a lot of
to
people.
add to it, I
uh,
always say this is my favorite line: knowing is not doing.
knowing is not doing, so yeah, and that is part of the homework also from today. If you liked anything in this session, I will of course share more a little bit about the homework, but at least note down one point that you can action from this entire session, right? So it
So
could
shall
be.
I give some action steps here?
No, please,
And
please, please go ahead.
uh,
Uh-huh,
so,
bilkul.
so shall I take the first answer, Vaibhav's question first, as
So,
he asked
ठीक है.
earlier?
Hmm.
So the question was how to what is a successful brand strategy? आज मैं आप सबके साथ एक secret share कर रही हूँ. आप में से सब लोग बहुत बहुत सारे लोग, we all play cards, or at least we
Yeah,
know about
yeah.
how to play cards. थोड़ा
Even
बहुत तो
yes,
पता है.
some people are saying yes, yes. Yeah. So yeah,
Yes, yes. अच्छा, अब ताश के खेल में चार इक्के जिसके पास होते हैं, तो क्या होता है? चार इक्के.
four aces. Yeah. Uh,
So they are the winner. So today
hmm.
I'm going to give you four A's of image management. One is appropriate. Dress appropriately. Like Anshuman said, fit into that place, the culture. If the culture is dressing casually, then don't be too formal. Or if the culture is formal dressing, be formal.
Yeah.
Appropriate to the place where you are going. Second is, and the most important one, be authentic. Don't try to imitate others. Sometimes we pick up some pieces because just we like somebody else wearing it, and then they lie in our wardrobes and they stay. And I call them wardrobe orphans. You buy them but you don't love them, and they stay hanging there unloved and uncared for. So
Hmm.
don't bring those orphans home. Second, um, uh, authentic, be the person who you are. Don't try to portray something else. So many times I've seen people who have such vibrant personalities, but they stick to one color. I wear black. Say, why do you wear black? Why don't you experiment with colors? And then this client of mine, she said, black makes me look slim. Don't get obsessed with a single point. Experiment. That is the
Hmm.
best brand strategy. Keep experimenting how you are feeling inside. That is authentic. Third is attractive. We all want to look more beautiful than we actually are. That is the reason makeup industry, accessories industry, hairstyle industry, fashion industry is booming. Why is Apple so expensive? Why is iPhone so expensive? Do you know that that's a fashion brand? That's not a technology brand because how they present, the branding
Yeah, it
which
is
they have.
a statement. So really well said.
And the fourth A. Fourth A
Yeah,
is
sure.
affordable.
Okay.
Sure. The fourth A is affordable. It's not that image consultants are going to ask you to, dig a hole in your pocket. In today's time, we can buy good quality products, buy a few, but wear only good quality products because people associate you with the products which you wear. So if you're wearing a low quality product, they psychologically start associating you with low quality. So be very mindful of what you wear. You are
What you
expressing
wear.
yourself. So four
Yeah.
A's, चार इक्के सबको मिल गए. Appropriate, authentic, attractive, and affordable.
Fantastic. Earlier we had ABC, now 4 A's. Easy to remember, actually. This is also part of this that,
Yes,
this
Anshuman.
we can't make this subject complex,
So,
right? So,
yes, so
so
that is the
easy.
reason for I would like to add that how I mine is complete holistic image management, and I just tell some micro steps which are very
Sure.
easily doable, which bring macro results.
Fantastic. Um, Impact can be made without. So, Shika is my sister, so I don't want any comment at home. So I will bring her on. But I think most of the questions we've been able to tackle. There are some questions, of course, a little deeper about how to connect and all. So we've already shared that best is to connect with Aarti on LinkedIn and send her a DM and then take it from there. That would be the most useful. Kishore is still around, very informative. Thank you. The It's almost time, Aarti. So I usually my shows start on time and end on time, but I really thoroughly enjoyed the show. But if you have any closing comments or anything you want to share with our audience, please
Some
go ahead.
tips,
Yes,
doable things,
yeah.
homework. आई एम अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट टास्क मास्टर. काम जरूर करना है, मैं बहुत अच्छे से काम करवाती हूँ.
Uh,
So one simple tip, daily tip, which I want all of you to do is, I'm not going to give you a long morning routine, not even half an hour. I need just 1 minute. You guys promise to give me 1 minute in the chat box, right? If you promise, then only I'll give you the tip.
so I am getting some. Unfortunately, you can't see the box, the
Okay.
comment box,
So I'm
but yeah,
मैं सोच रही हूँ कि आप सब मानोगे. So
yeah.
the moment you get up every day, first thing, and it takes only 1 second to do that, is smile. First thing which we forget in the morning to do is smile. And when you just get up and just smile, you are setting in an intention that I'm going to be happy and I'll spread happiness. That is
Yeah.
the first thing I want you to do. And keep spreading that positivity throughout the day. And 5 minutes when you dress up, after taking a bath, 5 minutes, take care of your skin, use a good moisturizer, sunscreen, groom your hair well, just don't wear anything, wear iron clothes, very simple grooming tips, smell good. These are the basic ABCs. And if you do it consistently every day, that will change your game. So that is my daily tip. Very easy. I hope everybody can follow.
I'm sure people can follow up. And look, sometimes Ati, I think the reason why I wanted you on the show also is that people underestimate the power of this whole concept, right? So they think that, if my work is good, my content is good, everything else will work out. ऐसा नहीं होता है because there is so much competition. We have to look at everything, all the aspects in life. And by doing this, actually, it helps to bring a all-round or well-rounded personality. So I'm glad you
Absolutely.
were able to do that for us. A lot of people are, you know, and a lot of people said yes to your earlier question, and some like Varun is actually now commenting. I think you certainly have quite a new set of fans. Maybe one last question we'll take from a regular person who joins our shows is Murthy. थोड़ा लंबा क्वेश्चन है but we'll take it quickly. Awesome session. Thank you. Thanks, Murthy. While someone is working on their ABCD factors, the one that you shared earlier, how does it all evolve when they consider their own past, present, and future images that they want to project? Any order or gliding pathway you can indicate? Anything on how do they project in future? That kind seems to be the question.
Two things. First of all, past nobody can erase. There's no eraser in the market that can erase your past. However, we can sow new seeds. So forget about the
Hmm.
past. Don't dwell on the past. Whatever pictures people have painted about you, that could be real or that could not be real. We can't do much about it. Start from today. Decide you are a new person today. The example which I gave you of mine, you can become the person you want to become. Third, be the future self today, right now. Don't wait for future to come. Be that person today and take backward steps. What would this person look like? How would this person behave? How would this person carry themselves? How would this person work? Think about that future you and start behaving like that from today. I hope that makes sense.
It
Murthy,
totally does to me, and I know Murthy, smart chap, so he will quickly pick up. So, Aarti, one request, there are still some questions that we could not take up due to time. So, whenever you get time or, your team gets time, if you can go to the comments page and take some of the questions. Sometimes they are similar, so obviously you answer one so that people can get maximum response to what we are sharing here. Quite a new set of again more people, So thank you guys, Alak Nanda and many other people, and Nikhil and quite a few people. So thank you very much for your comments. I will have to wrap up the show now with the simple thing that thanks to my audience first of all. You all make this show, and I, because of your participation, regular participation and encouragement, I am able to bring so many guests to the series. This was one area where I was looking for a good consultant or a coach on this, and thankfully Aarti, aapka schedule and all, we were able to match. So thank you very much for helping our audience, and we will hope that some people take back actionable tips like you shared, and of course they also understand the value of image, right? So that first is important to understand that there is value, yeah, and then the action like you said. So thank you once again, thank you very much. Quick reminder
thank
to
you,
everybody.
Anshul.
My
And
pleasure.
before we disconnect, I would say you look awesome in the school blue shirt today.
Thank
And
you,
thank
thank
you
you.
everyone who have joined in. Send me a personal message. I would love to connect with each one of you personally. Do
Sure.
connect with me.
So
I'm
that is a
Aarti
good
Sharma.
reminder, maybe Aarti, that all people who are still in the show, if you still have not followed Aarti, please go ahead and follow her. You can also follow me. I also share content around career and mid-career topics. So that will at least help you learn from what we share. And of course, if you then want to take it further, you can connect further as well. So that is one. And last reminder is that next week, same time, Saturday, uh, we will be talking to T. N. Hari, who's one of the founders of Big Basket and a known name in the entrepreneurship. So next week's topic is entrepreneurship, and
I'll
that's
also
really
join.
sure, sure. Welcome. Right.
I joined
Thank you.
last yesterday's session also. It was awesome. That was on personal
Ah,
branding.
that was an audio event. Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
So
audio event. Yes.
now Fridays I do audio events, but Saturdays is mostly this. So hopefully more and more people benefit from what we can do. So once again, thank you everyone. Thank you Artji. I will close the show now. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day ahead.